Before you spend another dime feeding the $1 billion bug spray industry, or sign a summer-long contract with a yard spraying service promising you the moon, take a hard look at that dusty old box fan sitting in your garage. I know it sounds crazy. It sounds like a total gimmick. But last summer, that standard 20-inch box fan did what piles of citronella candles, expensive UV bug zappers, and endless aisles of store-bought chemical sprays completely failed to do. I hauled it out to the backyard, secured a standard piece of window screen to the back, placed a scientifically formulated bait tray exactly 2 feet away, and let it run overnight. Honestly, I didn't expect a miracle. It looked like a kid's homemade science fair project. But the next morning, when I walked out with my coffee, that screen was pitch black. It was coated in a thick layer of dead and dying mosquitoes. Not just a handful. It was a massive haul. I had to stand there and process what I was looking at. And that was the exact moment the truth clicked. Mosquitoes do not lose to the snapping sound of neon blue light. They do not lose to the overwhelming smell of citronella oil. They lose to basic, undeniable physics. They lose to aerodynamics. Today, I'm going to walk you through a simple hack to build the ultimate box fan mosquito trap. I will teach you the exact biochemical bait that turns it into a magnet, the fatal mistakes that cause failures, and the complete biological system to permanently stop your backyard from breeding more mosquitoes after every single rain. When mosquitoes hijack your backyard, your first instinct is to run to the hardware store. You buy a glowing bug zapper. You burn massive citronella candles. You fog the yard with neurotoxins. Or you plug in an ultrasonic device, cross your arms, and pray it does what the cardboard box claims. I am not saying these gadgets lack a psychological benefit. I totally get why you buy a bug zapper. It glows an eerie, futuristic purple in the dark. It makes a satisfying snapping sound. But in reality, entomological studies routinely show that biting female mosquitoes largely ignore UV light. You are massacring beneficial insects while the mosquitoes bypass the light show to feast on your ankles. Citronella candles operate on a similar illusion. They smell great. They set a nice mood for evening cocktails. But unless you are sitting entirely inside the candle's smoke plume, your shield is useless. And chemical sprays? Sure, they might knock down a local swarm for an hour or two. But if you have a clogged gutter, an overturned bucket, or a few plant saucers holding dirty water behind your shed, thousands of new mosquitoes are incubating, ready to replace the ones you just sprayed. Mosquitoes track us using a highly sophisticated sensory array. They detect body heat, skin lactic acid, moisture, and exhaled breath. It sounds like they are an unstoppable micro-predator, but they possess one fatal, physical flaw we can easily exploit. They are incredibly weak flyers. A mosquito does not fly with the brute force of a housefly or the aerodynamic agility of a bumblebee. They are virtually weightless, fragile, and heavily reliant on perfectly still air. Their absolute maximum top speed is a pathetic 1-to-1. Num MFA to a human. A 2 miles per hour's breeze is a refreshing summer evening draft. To a mosquito, it is a Category 5 hurricane that completely obliterates their flight path. That is the exact weakness we are going to weaponize. And we are going to do it using the massive, low-pressure vortex generated by a standard household box fan. Building this trap does not require advanced engineering or specialized gear. You likely already own half the materials. You need a standard 20-inch box fan. You need a piece of fine window screen or mosquito netting, cut slightly larger than the fan frame. You need heavy-duty binder clips or strong neodymium magnets to secure the screen, and you need a shallow water tray. Listen closely. You do not attach the screen to the front of the fan, where the air blows out. If you attach the screen to the blowing side, you've built nothing but a fan that aggressively pushes mosquitoes away. This trap relies entirely on suction. You must locate the back of the fan, the intake side, the side where air is violently pulled inward before being expelled, When a mosquito, maxing out at 1.5 miles per hour, flies anywhere near the intake side of a running 20-inch fan, it crosses an invisible point of no return. The vacuum pressure instantly overpowers their wings. They are sucked violently backward and slammed flat against the screen. The relentless, continuous airflow pins them there. They cannot take off. They cannot fly away. They slowly dehydrate and die against the mesh. The fan inhales them. The screen traps them. Any mosquito that enters that 3D cone of moving air is already dead. They just don't know it yet. Secure your mesh screen tightly over that intake side, using your heavy-duty clips. Pull it out. Do not let it sag and touch the spinning blades. Now we have a highly efficient capture mechanism. But a fan running alone relies on blind luck. We need to actively draw the mosquitoes into that capture zone. If you look at basic versions of this trap online, they tell you to just put a tray of standing water behind the fan. Standing water is okay. It attracts females looking to lay eggs, but we are not building a mediocre trap. Mosquitoes do not find you by accident. They possess specialized maxillary palps that can detect carbon dioxide from up to 50 feet away. Every time you exhale, you ring the dinner bell. So, we are going to build an artificial lung right behind our fan. Grab a shallow plastic container. Pour in 2 cups of warm water. Not boiling, just comfortably warm to the touch. Dissolve a 1/4 cup of dark brown sugar into the water. Finally, sprinkle 1 packet, or roughly 2 1/4 teaspoons, of active dry baker's yeast across the surface. Do not stir it aggressively. Just let it sit. Place this tray exactly 2 feet behind the intake side of the fan. At exactly 2 feet, the mosquito detects the massive CO2 plume, begins flying upstream toward the source of the breath, and is instantly ripped out of the air by the fan's suction before it ever touches the tray. You have the fan. You have the screen. Now, where do you put it? The absolute biggest rookie mistake is placing the fan right next to the patio dining table or your favorite lounge chair. Listen to me very carefully. The artificial lung is highly attractive bait. If you put bait next to your ankles, you are summoning every mosquito in the zip code directly to your feet. You must use a tactical ambush strategy based on the concept of windbreaks. Remember their 5 miles per hour speed limit? Because mosquitoes are such pathetic flyers, they cannot survive in wide open, breezy spaces during the day and even into the evening. They naturally congregate and travel along windbreaks, dense bushes, tall wooden fences, underneath backyard decks, or in shady, damp corners of your yard. These areas act as their highways and their staging grounds. You must place your trap facing these windbreaks. Put it halfway between the dense bushes and your patio seating. You are establishing a defensive perimeter. The fan pulls mosquitoes out of the bushes and slams them into the screen long before they ever get a visual on you. Turn the fan on at least 30 minutes before sunset. Do not wait until your legs are covered in bites to deploy the trap. By then, they've already breached your perimeter. When you walk outside to check your trap the next morning, you will see a solid black mass of mosquitoes pinned to the screen. But not all of them are dead yet. Some are just exhausted, pinned in place by the extreme air pressure. If you turn off the fan and immediately pop the clips to remove the screen, a solid percentage of those mosquitoes will suddenly realize the wind has stopped, recover their senses, and fly right back into your yard. We do not let survivors escape. We use the 70% rubbing alcohol kill switch. Before you touch the power button on that fan, grab a standard spray bottle filled with cheap 70% isopropyl rubbing alcohol. Keep the fan running. Stand behind the fan and heavily mist the alcohol directly onto the trapped mosquitoes across the screen. Isopropyl alcohol is an aggressive desiccant and a heavy solvent. It evaporates at a lightning-fast rate. As the alcohol gets sucked through the mesh by the fan, it ruthlessly strips the waxy, protective lipid layer right off the mosquitoes' exoskeletons. The rapid evaporation flash freezes them, and sucks all the remaining moisture out of their bodies in seconds. It is instantaneous. Lethal dehydration. Wait 30 seconds after spraying, then shut off the fan. Now you can safely unclip the screen. Take it to the edge of the yard and tap it clean. 0 survivors. After a heavy rain, you need to take a walk around your property and look at it with ruthless scrutiny. Look at it through the eyes of a female mosquito. She only needs a bottle cap's worth of stagnant water to lay hundreds of eggs. Check the saucers under your potted plants. Check the sag in the middle of your BBQ grill cover. Check the plastic toys left in the grass, the clogged aluminum gutters, and the corrugated drain pipes. Turn them over. Dump the water out. But what about the water you cannot dump? What about rain barrels, concrete bird baths, or decorative backyard ponds? This is where we deploy biological warfare. BTI, Betty, or Bacillus thuringiensis israelensis, is a naturally occurring soil bacterium. You can buy it at any garden center, under the brand name Mosquito Dunks. These little circular briquettes look like dry donuts. Toss them into any permanent standing water on your property. BTI is a masterpiece of targeted biological control. It is completely non-toxic to humans, dogs, cats, birds, fish, and honeybees. But to a mosquito larva, it is a deadly stomach poison. When the larvae hatch in the water, they eat the BTI. The bacteria immediately ruptures their gut lining from the inside out, killing them within hours, long before they can ever grow wings and fly up. Do not fall for the empty promises of a chemical fogger or the theatrical light show of a bug zapper. Use physics. Use chemistry. Use biology. Take your backyard back. If this deep dive into the actual science of pest control gave you the upper hand today, if you are ready to stop throwing money out the window and start seeing real results, hit that subscribe button right now. We don't do snake oil gimmicks here. We do science. We use strategy. And we reclaim our backyards. I'll see you in the next video.